to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilori. All across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilori. All across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilori. All across Nigeria, bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 TV.
Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us on the 24 News Update. My name is Olushola Oyewole. The ex-state governor, Mr. Abiodun Oyebanji, has presented checks worth over 500 billion naira as compensation to 1,050 indigenes of Ijon and Ikere-Ekiti, whose properties were affected in respect of the Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN project. Governor Oyebanji, who was represented by his deputy, Chief Monisade Afuye, presented the checks to the beneficiaries at the Faju Pavilion in Ado-Ekiti and said the federal power project, when completed, would ensure that all parts of the state get connected to the national grid. He noted that the TCN right-of-way for the 132/133 kVA power transmission lines was a strategic project aimed at ensuring constant power supply and boosting socio-economic development of the people of the state. According to the governor, the project was a clear step towards tackling unemployment and building a sustainable future for generations yet unborn. Governor Oyebanji noted that the project was intentionally designed for reliability of power by connecting two power supply lines from Benin and Oshogbo. In his remarks, the Governor on Land Matters, Professor James Olaleye, expressed the government's commitment to ensuring that the future of Ekiti State is built through constant power supply to the state. He applauded the landowners for releasing their lands willingly to execute the landmark project, saying, with this, they have demonstrated an uncommon sense of patriotism, understanding, and love. Some of the landowners interviewed expressed gratitude to the governor for fulfilling his promise and for prioritizing the welfare of the citizens. They thanked the governor and assured him of their continued support for the completion of the project. And in another development, Ekiti State Governor Abiodun Oyebanji has charged the indigenes of Ado-Ekiti to embrace love, unity, and a strong spirit of brotherhood for the Ewi of Ado-Ekiti, His Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Rufus Adeyemade Aladesami III, to achieve his vision of making the town a cynosure of all eyes in terms of development. Governor Oyebanji, who gave the charge a week ago during the 2025 Ujiroko Festival, said the celebration by Ado-Ekiti people was a symbol of unity and celebration of a rich, colorful culture and valuable heritage, which deserves to be accorded national status and recognition. He pledged the support of his administration to back in development programs being midwifed by the town to uplift its standards. Addressing the gathering, the governor saluted the monarch for raising the bar of development and fostering the peace among the indigenes of the town, describing his reign as memorable and remarkable in all spheres. Oyebanji described the community as strategic to the rating of the state in terms of development index, revealing that the government was desirous of taking development to every town in Ekiti, and that Ado won't be neglected within this context. Addressing subjects, the Ewi of Ado-Ekiti, Oba Adeyemade lauded all the prominent sons and daughters of the community who have contributed tremendously to the development of Ado-Ekiti since his ascension to the throne as the paramount ruler of the town some years ago. The monarch said Ujiroko Festival takes a pride of place among other festivals being observed in the town, as it marks the traditional beginning of a new year, a landmark in the year calendar of the town. Speaking with 24 News Radio TV correspondent Demola Atobaba, who covered the event, Some of the indigenes, including Chief Dauda Lawal, Chief Additional Patrick, and the Yeyelua of Adrekiti, Chief Mrs. Fashogba, described the festival as unique and worth celebrating yearly. They appealed to government at all levels, especially the federal government, to foster strong partnership with the states to invest in the country's vast and rich cultural potentials to strengthen the economy. They said government diversifying into the development of arts, culture, and tourism possesses the power to turn around the country's economy and offer a strong alternative platform to oil and gas in the economic stratum.
ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ń ṣe ọmọ adógan tí ò mọ ìtumọ̀ ọlọ́run bọ̀run nígbà tí ilẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ débí tí adó wà nígbà àwọn kábíyèsí wa tó tẹ bíbá ìdó àwọn àwa márùn àwọn ló tẹdó ìjàkadì ni wọ́n fi mọ ẹgbẹ́ nígbà yẹn ìdí ìrókò náà ti ń ja ìjàkadì yẹn òun ní ìdí ìrókò tó fi jáde.
The turnout of people in this Idiroko festival is very massive. God, they turn out massively. We thank God. Let me say again, I thank God Almighty because the trooping out of people is even more than last year, and I believe next year will be more than this.
From Adwekiti, the Idiroko Festival 2025 is no more a joke. You can see people trooping out, even from the palace, as people that matters in Nigeria troop out en masse to celebrate this Idiroko Festival. It's a cultural display that is of no doubt in the entire Southwest and Nigeria. And we appreciate you. Thank you for watching. God bless you.
And moving on, the only female governorship aspirant in the 2026 primary election on the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC in Ekiti State, Mrs. Abimbola Olajumoke Olawomi, has expressed confidence that she will succeed the incumbent governor of the state, Mr. Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji, come the 2026 governorship election in the state. She said that her ambition to become the next governor of the state was gathering momentum daily and that she has behind her people that matter when it comes to the forthcoming Guba election in the state. The APC stalwart gave the assurance in an exclusive virtual interview with 24 News Radio and Television in Adrekiti. Abimbola hinted that she had studied the trend of events for a long time while preparing for the race, noting that when she decided to come out to declare for the governorship election, she knew that the time had come for her to emerge victorious. The Ekiti-born journalist turned politician disclosed that she will make sure that she turns the cargo airport to a fully functional one if elected as governor. Speaking further, the governorship aspirant said she has what it takes to deliver during the primary election. Mrs. Abimbola said her main priority will be the welfare of Ekiti people while ensuring that all nooks and crannies of the state get dividends of democracy through projects that will have positive impact on the citizenry. The Ekiti State Police Command has arrested 35-year-old Bamishayi Abiodun and 35-year-old Olaniyi Jamiu in Adrekiti, who are notorious car thieves after a credible tip-off. The Commissioner of Police, Joseph Eribo, in a statement, said that the suspects confessed to stealing vehicles and also that they belong to a syndicate linked to a robbery and murder case in 2024. He explained that 2 Toyota Camry cars were recovered while efforts were on to track fleeing members and receivers of stolen vehicles. The Commissioner of Police urged residents to stay vigilant and report suspicious activities. And moving on, the Akpetu of Ikpetu Modu in Osun State, about Joseph Oloyede, has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison in the United States. Oloyede, 62, who holds dual U.S. and Nigerian citizenship and resides in Medina, Ohio, was on August 26 handed 56 months in prison by U.S. District Judge Christopher A. Boyko, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Ohio in a statement on Tuesday. The monarch was also ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release after imprisonment and also to pay over $4 million in restitution. The U.S. Attorney's Office said Oloyede led a conspiracy to exploit COVID-19 emergency loan programs created for struggling businesses. And back in Nigeria, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has called on stakeholders, including the National Assembly, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and students to caution the federal government against pushing university teachers to embark on a nationwide strike. The call came on the heels of protests by members of the union across the country, especially in federal government-owned universities. The union described the decision of the government to offer its members loans as a great gift, which according to it was unnecessary if the government paid the at the University of Okoyemi Olajide said the lecturers were staging a protest to let the world know how the federal government was treating them with disdain. He ordered all students who came for their computer-based test, CBT, to go home as no examination will be administered, threatening that the union might embark on indefinite strike if nothing was done to address their concerns. Similarly, lecturers at the University of Jos, led by the branch chairperson, Comrade Jube Molbus, called on President Tinubu to renew their hope. According to him, the hope of members in the federal government doing the needful was fading away. Elsewhere, ASU members at the University of Abuja also joined the nationwide protest. According to protesters, addressing the protesters, Dr. Silvanus Ugo, chairman of ASU Union Abuja chapter, said the action was aimed at drawing the attention of the federal public to the worsening hardship of. He revealed that the government currently owed lecturers 3.5 months' salaries, a full year arrears of the 25 and 35% wage awards, as well as over 5 years of unpaid promotion arrears. Also, at Alex Ekweme Federal University, Ndufu Alike, Ebonyi State, the protest paralyzed academic activities as the lecturers marched along the major roads within and outside the school. Lecturers at the University of Ibadan, UI, and Emmanuel Alayon, the University of Education, Oyo, under the aegis of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, also staged a peaceful protest, warning President Tinubu to sign the renegotiated agreement with the union by August 28, or risk a full-scale strike across Nigeria's public universities. Speaking on behalf of the protesters at the University of Maiduguri, the ASU chairman, Dr. Abubakar Mushelia, said treating intellectuals with such disregard would not result in meaningful progress in Nigeria. He said professors who have dedicated over 4 decades to educating generations retire on a meager 150,000 naira under the contributory pension scheme, while inflation exceeds 21%. And from the University of Lagos comes the report that more than 239 first-class graduates of the University of Lagos employed as lecturers have left the institution within 7 years. Immediate past Vice Chancellor of Unilag, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, made the statement in Lagos while speaking as guest lecturer at a forum with the theme Innovative Funding of Functional Education in the Digital Age. Reading out statistics, Ogundipe said Unilag retained 256 first-class graduates as lecturers between 2015 and 2022, but only 17 remained in the institution's employ as of October 2023. He attributed the mass exodus to poor remuneration, inconducive working conditions, and low motivation among lecturers. He noted that unless the government adequately funds the sector, universities would, in the next decade, be dominated by women, while poorly prepared candidates would gain entry into postgraduate programs. He urged legislators to enact a law mandating that each first-generation university receive at least 1 billion naira annually to address decayed infrastructure. And now on to Abia State, where the report has it that a former All Progressive Congress governorship candidate in Abia State, Paul Ikone, has called on Governor Alex Otti to roll back what he described as harsh tax policies on traders in Aba and provide a transparent account of funds reportedly spent on school renovations and market projects. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Dr. Uju Justice, Ukene said traders at Adiada International Market, who previously paid 18,000 per shop annually, are now required to pay over 36,000 with more than 88,000 shops in the market, and this translates to roughly 3.1 billion naira yearly. The APC chieftain also demanded clarity on the 54 billion naira reportedly spent on renovating 51 schools and 7 billion naira expended on recreational centers. The decision by the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to southern Nigeria has pitted various northern groups in different camps, with many describing the development as undemocratic and contrary to the spirit of fair competition. Leaders from the North Central Zone, on the platform of the North Central Renaissance Movement, have rejected the PDP zoning of its 2027 presidential ticket to the South. The chairperson of the movement, Professor Ketso Ngarbu, argued that in the spirit of fairness, the presidential ticket should have been zoned to the North Central, as it remains the only zone yet to produce either a president or vice president in a democratic dispensation. Also, the national president of the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, Yerima Shetima, stated that the PDP's decision to zone its ticket was too early to conclude as done by the PDP in its NEC meeting. Although prominent northern figures in the PDP, including foundation members like Professor Jerry Gana, have been in the forefront urging the party to look to the south for a candidate to vie against President Bola Tinubu. Some northern stakeholders have warned of the danger of losing significant votes in a region known for its voting strength. Meanwhile, the Middle Belt Forum has come out in defense of the PDP's decision to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to the south. The National Party, at its 102nd meeting day, zoned the presidential ticket to the south, while retaining the current National Working Committee headed by Ambassador Umar Damagum. And now on to the foreign scene. Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen has summoned the top US diplomat in Copenhagen following a report that American citizens have been conducting covert operations in Greenland, saying the aim was to infiltrate Greenland society and promote its secession from Denmark to the US. Løkke Rasmussen said any attempt to interfere in the internal affairs of the Kingdom of Denmark was unacceptable. He noted that the government was aware that foreign actors continued to show interest in Greenland and its position in the Kingdom of Denmark. US President Donald Trump has said several times he wants to annex Greenland, a semi-autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and Vice President J.D. Vance has accused Copenhagen of underinvesting in the territory. Denmark is a member of NATO and the European Union and has long seen the US as one of its closest allies, and Danes have been shocked by Trump's determination to control its semi-autonomous territory. South Korea banning the use of mobile phones and smart devices during class hours in schools, becoming the latest country to restrict phone use among children and teenagers. The law, which comes into effect from the next school year in March 2026, is the result of a bipartisan effort to curb smartphone addiction as more research points to its harmful effects. Lawmakers, parents, and teachers argued that smartphone use was affecting students' academic performances and taking away time they could have spent studying. Most South Korean schools have already implemented some form of a smartphone ban. Countries like Finland and France have banned phones on addiction only to schools for younger children, while other countries like Italy, the Netherlands, use in all schools. 2 police officers who were shot dead while on duty in a rural Australian town have been named as a massive search continues for their alleged killer. Victoria Police identified the victims as 59-year-old Detective Neil Thompson, a local officer on the brink of retirement, and 35-year-old Senior Constable Vim DeWatt. The pair had travelled to the property in Poponka, northeast of Melbourne, alongside 8 colleagues to execute a warrant for alleged sexual offences. Another officer was seriously injured in the shootout but is recovering after surgery. And now sports. After PSG lifted the trophy last season, UEFA champions, attention will be shifted to the 2025-2026 league campaign, where dreams will be renewed and rivalries reignited. 33 teams have secured their place in the league. 32 teams have secured their place in the league phase at Kairat Almaty. FK Bodo Glimt and Paphos joined the original 29 qualifiers, leaving just 4 remaining spots to be decided this evening. The seeding for the 4 pots has also been outlined based on UEFA coefficients. Some of the teams in Pot 1 are Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Chelsea, and Barcelona, while Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, Juventus, Eintracht Frankfurt and Club Brugge are in Pot 2. Pot 3 has the likes of Tottenham Hotspurs, Ajax, Napoli, Olympiacos, Slavia Praha, and Olympic Marseille. In Pot 4 are Copenhagen, Paphos, AS Monaco, Ferencvaros, Galatasaray, Kairat Almaty, Union St. Gilloa Athletic Club, and Newcastle United. The official draw for the league phase will take place on Thursday, the 20th of August, 2025 in Monaco. Thank you very much for joining us on the news update, and do stay tuned as we still continue with our broadcast of programs today. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV.